Hello friends, and welcome to One Truth Able, and thank you for joining on this broadcast today. Today we're going to be talking about a super volcano eruption that might happen in Yellowstone National Park in America. Do you know scientists are saying that there's a possibility, a big possibility, that there will be a super volcano eruption happening soon or later on? And it will cause a lot of devastation in America. You know what's really interesting? Just like some videos that show that things are going to happen in the future, like 9/11 and a lot of videos, there are some videos that actually show a super volcano eruption happening in Yellowstone National Park, like Dante's Peak. And even 2012. You know what's even more interesting? That many animals are leaving Yellowstone National Park. They are like running. I don't know if they sense that a super volcano eruption is going to take place. And they're running. Bisons are moving. Elks are going away from that mountain and from the national park. And it's like the animals can sense what's about to take place. It reminds me of Noah's Ark. When all the animals got in the ark for safety, this is like the same thing happening again. I'm going to let you see the footage and you can draw your own conclusion.
Scientists are releasing a new warning about the threat of a massive supervolcano eruption, like the one under Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. The European Science Foundation has released a 70-page report called Extreme Geohazards: Reducing the Disaster Risk and Increasing Resilience. It references the Yellowstone supervolcano. Now, Yellowstone's volcano doesn't look like some others because it's a caldera, or a crater. It's around ground level instead of towering into the clouds. But scientists say it covers a really enormous reserve of magma beneath the Earth's surface. We have a rendering of what scientists say is underneath that volcano, an ocean of molten rock, they tell us, that stretches for hundreds of miles. Of course, nobody needs to freak out right now at all. Scientists say there's only about a 10% chance of an eruption like this happening anytime this century. So there's a good chance you'll never see it. But 10%, I mean, that's not tiny. And the U.S. Geological Survey noted last year, even if Yellowstone does erupt, it could be a small incident, not some Armageddon type thing. Michio Kaku joins us now. He's a theoretical physicist, a professor, a best-selling author, and friend of the program. Give us some context on this, what we're talking about here.
Well, forget the image of Yogi Bear representing Yellowstone. We're talking about a sleeping Godzilla underneath Yellowstone that, if it erupts in a maximum eruption called Category 8, it could literally tear the guts out of the United States of America. Instead of having 50 states of the Union, we would only have 30 states of the Union. Now that's Category 8. This report looked at Category 7, which is much more likely once every 1,000 years rather than once every million years. That means in every century, there's a 10% chance that somewhere on the planet Earth there could be a supervolcanic Category 7 eruption. That's the danger. So this report has to be taken seriously, but hey, don't sell the store, don't panic. We don't expect it to happen in our lifetime.
It's hard really to imagine this lake of lava that stretches hundreds of miles in all directions. How do we know that? And how do they read that?
Well, just 2 years ago, there was a scare, in fact. We actually began to measure the size of this lava hotspot, and it turned out to be twice as big as we previously thought. However, the good news is that it's not migrating, it's not moving. We see no indication whatsoever that a big one is coming. However, eventually the law of averages catches up to you. And this report singled out Mount Vesuvius outside Naples, Italy, outside Mexico City, and Yellowstone as three hotspots where a Category 7 volcanic eruption could indeed take place in this century.
So there are only 3 of this size in all the world?
Well, there's several in Indonesia and New Zealand that have had Category 8 eruptions, in fact. But then again, we're talking about once every million years for Category 8. Category 7 will be many times the size of Mount St. Helens, enough to cause widespread destruction across a state, but not enough to destroy the US of A. But still something that we have to take very seriously now.
What would we get in the way of warnings, Michio?
Well, unlike a meteor from outer space, where you get no warning whatsoever, we get warnings. If you've seen movies like Pompeii, you know that there are days, in fact weeks, of eruptions building up, grumbling inside, underneath the ground, near the pocket of lava. So there would be enough time, several weeks, in order to begin evacuation if and when such an unlikely event were to take place.
All right, Michio Kaku on the news deck. No time to panic, but interesting, very interesting. Thank you.
What do we need this for?
They just come in handy.
What is that?
That's a pyroclastic cloud.
Hey, baby. Mom, it's coming!
Don't look back, kids. Don't look back.
is ridiculous. It's been over half an hour. I tell you, the guy's a nut job.
Stop it, Gordon. No, hand me the phone again.
Nothing. Nothing.
I have goosebumps, people.